Hey guys, I don't know if you've seen this video making the rounds on social media, but I wanted to do a real quick reaction. I'm going to link his channel in my description, but let's get right into the video.
There's a shift that's occurring. I would even call it a movement where people are starting to lose interest in everything, and it's causing people to retreat from society. I felt this. This has actually happened to me, and let me know in the comments below if this has happened to you. I've seen more people talking about this. The holidays, they don't have the same spirit. Spending time with friends and family doesn't feel the same. Doing the things that you used to enjoy, hobbies, it's not as fun. It doesn't feel the same. And when I first started realizing this and feeling this and experiencing it, I started to get kind of disheartened by it because I was like, you know what? Maybe this is happening because of all the crazy stuff going on in the world around us. Maybe I'm retreating from society and nothing feels the same because our spirit is being degraded. And I do think that is playing a role. I do think that is a major cause of why this is happening, but I think there's something else that we're kind of glossing over. And I think this is something that's actually a silver lining. And what I believe that is that that's a part of ourselves that is actually starting to fade away. It's a part of ourselves that is starting to die. And that's not a bad thing, because the part of us that's starting to fade away is the part that would have us going out craving validation. The part of us that would have us going out looking for that instant gratification. It's the part of us that would have us scrolling our phones and seeking attention and putting ourselves out there on social media and comparing ourselves to other people and buying into all this crazy stuff, all these insane ideologies that have been basically programmed into our minds at this point.
Social media is poison. And you see someone who's a content creator, but it's objectively true. Anyone can take a look at, I mean, if you're of a certain age, if you're past the age of 30, you do remember a time when there wasn't a Facebook, there wasn't an Instagram, there wasn't streaming, and it was a different time not that long ago, and it seems like the world has completely gone to hell, and it all started with social media. It's poison.
It is that part of us that is dying, because most of us that are experiencing this, we have begun to see through the illusion. We're seeing things for what they actually are. And what they actually are is that we are being played. I mean, the fact of the matter is that we are being played like a fiddle. That is exactly what's happening. The manipulation and the deception is rampant. And those of us that are feeling this have woken up to that fact. And the reason we're starting to feel empty and nothing feels the same, and we're losing interest in everything, and the music doesn't sound as good, and the movies aren't as good, and all of these things, is because that part of ourselves that bought into this illusion, it is dying. It is dying, and it is withering away. And what it is revealing is the part of ourselves that we have buried. It's the part of ourselves that actually makes us who we are. We're starting to actually tune back into our intuition and to who we are as people, and that's starting to come back out. And I would call this a transition period, and I think this is very fundamentally important to embrace this, because when you embrace this, what you're actually embracing is peace. Because you're losing interest in things and nothing feels the same, because you're starting the baseline. You're reaching that, I would call it like a monotone level, where everything's just kind of mundane and you're just kind of floating through life. But in that, you're actually starting to find peace. And again, think about this for your own life. I've noticed this for myself, that when I get in that mindset and I'm just kind of bored and nothing really brings me joy, I'm actually at peace. I've begun to drown out all the noise, and I can start to tune into myself and listen to my own internal dialogue. And what it is telling me is that I simply don't align with this new world that has been created around us. And again,
If you feel left out because you don't buy into the nonsense either, don't, man. Majority of us don't. We see what's going on, we don't like it, we feel powerless to change it, and I think that's the most frustrating thing, at least from me as a man's standpoint. I see it wrong, I see an injustice, and I instinctively want to go and try to solve that problem, correct that wrong. And I haven't felt like I have any power to change anything in the world. All these, and it's going on right outside of your door, but there's nothing you can seem to do about it. It's even hard to talk to people because they're predisposed to not trust one another now in our societies. They're predisposed to assume that that person has some sort of alternative agenda that they're not making you aware of. You're predisposed to believe that, oh, someone with a different political opinion than me is a libtard. And I use that word all the time, but when I really think about what I'm calling that, I'm discounting them before I even take the chance to listen them. And when you do that, you will get nowhere. So you're not alone if you feel as though the world's a crazy place and you don't feel like you belong anymore. You're not alone.
I think that is where this situation is actually kind of our mind and ourselves telling us that, hey, you know what? This is detrimental to you. If you continue to buy into this, it's going to have a negative impact on your life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish a baseline. I'm going to bring you down a few notches. I'm going to make things feel kind of bland. That way you can experience the boredom. That way you can experience the silence. That way you're not buying into all this crazy nonsense going on around us, the stuff that really doesn't matter. And I'm going to force you into focusing on the things that do matter. And the things that matter are peace, silence, solitude, getting back in tune with yourself, not falling victim to all this deception and all this manipulation that is 100% by design. The reason we are feeling this way is because we are being pummeled with stuff 24/7, and it's overwhelming. And eventually, when you're so overwhelmed, your body kind of taps out. I mean, we see this in nature. You think about a lot of animals. There's certain animals out there that when they're extremely stressed, they go into like a zombie mode. I had an iguana one time that it would turn black and it would freeze up and just stay that way for hours on end if it was overstressed. And I ended up having to buy a book and read this and figure this out because it freaked me out. I thought the iguana was dying, but it was actually a survival tactic. So what if us feeling this way and us being forced into the situation where everything feels mundane and nothing hits the same, what if it's a survival tactic? What if it's something that is ingrained and embedded in our DNA that is basically telling us to slow down, to stop, to not buy into this stuff, to focus on the things that matter? What if that's all this is about? And the more I've stopped to really think about this, I truly believe that's what's happening. And don't get me wrong, just like I mentioned before, I do believe that there are many other factors that play into this. I do believe that our spirit is kind of being degraded because of all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world around us. But when you think about it in this way, it kind of retrains your mind, and it allows you to really focus on the silence and the solitude and see these things as a good thing. It allows you to see the silver lining to things and have gratitude in life for this situation, for all the stuff that's happening, because it is forcing us to slow down, take a step back, and to focus on the things in life that matter. And that's going to mean something different for everybody, but you can't figure out what those things are if you don't take that time, if you don't slow down, if you can't stop and find peace. So if you are experiencing this, and I know my video is getting kind of dark because the sun's setting back here, but if you are experiencing this, try to think about it this way, and try to think about how this can be a good thing. Embrace the silence, embrace the solitude, get in tune with your intuition, listen to what it's telling you. And I think if you're anything like me, you're going to find that it's telling you all the right.
Yeah. Listen to your inner intuition, understand that you're not alone. And all of this is to isolate a person. Social media isolates people. People have never felt more isolated and they have a million different apps on their phone. I don't know, a piece of advice that I do personally, and it's different for someone who might be a content creator. Maybe content is your business and your livelihood, so you might not necessarily be able to do this as well. But I take all my social media apps. I do not have them on my phone. The only time I'm on social media, I only allow the application to be installed on my PC, my laptop, so that I am not tempted to pick up my phone and pop open Instagram and just doom scroll. I have found that helps me. Maybe that's something that will help you guys. Like I said before, if you're a content creator, it's going to be a little bit different because you have to be updated, you know, obviously about that's your business and how you make your money. It might not be as realistic to not have these you know, YouTube Studio on as an app on your phone or something like that, or you know your whole business is through your ecom and you generate that through Instagram funnel. So maybe just go into the apps and see what kind of notification limitations you can put on, like getting notified of things. But I don't know. That's helped me. I hope that helps you guys. This video kind of hits home. Like I said, I'm gonna link this guy's channel in my description. It's insightful, and it just lets me know that you know there's millions and millions, hundreds of millions, probably billions of people who feel the same way right now, and I really believe there's a reason for that. So, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.